They told me not to answer it. They said when you hear the knock, 3 slow, echoing beats,
Tung Tung Tung.
at 3:33 a.m., you must pretend you're asleep, no matter how loud it gets, no matter how much it sounds like your own name being whispered through the cracks in the door. They said if you so much as blink toward the sound, it will know. It will sense your attention like a spider feeling the tremble of a web. But curiosity is a cruel disease. I was staying in my grandmother's house in a small town in Indonesia, where legends clung to the walls like mildew. The elders spoke of the Tung 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 Sahur, a man who walked the village with a drum, waking people before dawn during Ramadan. But there was one they never mentioned in full, the one they called
Tung 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 Sahur.
It wasn't said with reverence. It was whispered like a curse, as if the name itself could summon something ancient. It was different. No one remembered his face, but they all remembered the sound. The stories were fragmented, passed through trembling lips and half-finished sentences. Even the bravest storytellers looked over their shoulders when they mentioned it. That night, I heard it. 3 knocks. Not on the door, but on my window, 2 floors up. My body froze. It wasn't just sound. It was pressure. It felt like each knock pressed against my chest, squeezing my breath out, like a hand on my ribs. I thought it was a prank, or a stray cat. Anything but what it really was. I peeled the curtain back just a little, heart pounding so loud I thought the knocking might sink with it. Nothing, but the window was fogged over from the outside. And then I saw it. A fingerprint. Then another. Then more, dozens of them, spreading across the glass like a virus. All child-sized. All clawing downward, as if trying to escape something behind them. I fell back from the window. The fingerprints vanished before my grandmother entered, holding her prayer beads like a shield. Her face was pale. Her lips moved in a silent chant. She didn't ask me what I saw. She already knew. The next day, I asked my grandmother about it. She said nothing. Just made me drink jamu, muttered a prayer, and told me to stay indoors after midnight. Her eyes refused to meet mine. They darted to the corners of the room like something was hiding there, listening. It was my cousin Ronnie who finally told me the truth. When we were kids, there used to be a man who played the sahur drum. But he was odd. Never spoke. Wore a torn black sarong and a sack over his head. They said he was mute, but some said he had no mouth under the sack. Only skin. Seamless. Silent. One night, during the last week of Ramadan, he stopped at a house on the edge of the village and didn't move on. People complained he was hitting the drum too hard, too slow. Like funeral bells. The next morning, the house was silent. No one left for dawn prayer. No smoke rose from the chimney. When the villagers went to check, they found everyone inside dead, sitting up in bed, eyes wide open, mouths agape. No signs of struggle, just terror, the kind of terror that carves itself into bone. They buried the man in an unmarked grave in the forest, far from the village, but the knocking returned the next year, and every year after that, to different houses, always during the last week, always 3 knocks, always at 3:33 a.m., and always followed by death. Some bodies were found in beds, others outside their homes, as if they had tried to run. Some disappeared entirely, their footprints ending mid-stride in the dirt. They say the knocking isn't meant to wake you. It's meant to count. 3 knocks for 3 nights. The first night is the warning. The second is the claim. The third is the collection. If you acknowledge him, even slightly, the cycle begins. And once it starts, there's no stopping it. Unless, no one knows unless. That's where the stories stop. I begged my grandmother to let us leave. She said we couldn't. He knows your name now, she whispered. And your smell. Your warmth. She handed me a pouch filled with dried leaves and ash, told me to keep it under my pillow. Said it might confuse him. I didn't ask how she knew. I didn't want to know. That night, I tried to stay awake. I locked the windows, shut every curtain, turned on the Quran recordings at full volume. I even stuffed towels under the door. I drew salt lines around the bed, like I'd seen in horror movies. Anything to make myself feel safe. Anything to give me hope. But at exactly 3:33 a.m., the lights went out. The house moaned with the sudden shift, like it was holding its breath. And the knocking started again. Not on the window this time, but from the inside of my closet. The sound was deeper, wet, as if something inside the closet had no bones, only mass. I didn't move. I didn't breathe. I just stared at the closet door as the sound grew louder. The wood started to splinter. The doorknob trembled. My breath caught in my throat. Then I heard my name. Not spoken, but scratched. The sound of nails scraping it letter by letter into the closet wood. When morning came, I found it etched into the surface, Aliyah. Beneath it were symbols I didn't recognize. Circles and lines, like a child's drawing of a face, one with no eyes, no mouth, just an endless drum between its ears. My grandmother cried when she saw it. She poured salt over the closet, lit incense, and recited verses I'd never heard before. I watched her hands shake. I knew then I wasn't the first in this family. I found a journal hidden in my grandfather's room the next day. It smelled of mold and old fear. Inside were names, dates, drawings. Each year, a different victim. Always during Ramadan. Always the same 3 knocks. Some died in their sleep. Others went mad. One boy tore out his own eardrums trying to stop the sound. The pages were stained. Some with tears. Others with something darker. My grandfather had written about a woman named Shri who survived. She was in a nursing home not far from here. I went to see her. The place was silent, tucked between 2 hills, shadowed even in daylight. The nurse didn't want to let me in. Said Shri hadn't spoken in years. But when she saw the name Tung Tung, she froze. Her eyes glassed over, and she nodded slowly. She didn't speak at first, just stared at my face like she was counting my pores. Then, finally, she whispered, "He drums for the forgotten, for those who don't wake their soul at Sahur. He knocks not to wake your body, but to collect it." Her voice cracked with each word. It sounded like it hurt to speak, as if her throat remembered screaming. Before I left, she gave me a charm. A small wooden carving shaped like a drum, with red thread wrapped around it. "Tie it to your heart," she said. "It won't stop him, but it might remind him you remember." She collapsed into silence after that. I thanked her, though I didn't know what for. That night, I tied it around my neck. It was warm, like it had a pulse. The charm did nothing. That night, I heard the drum everywhere. In the pipes, under the floorboards, in my own heartbeat. The sound became a part of me. I couldn't separate it from reality. And then the smell, like burnt rice and rotting flesh. Like something cooked too long in its own decay. I checked every window, every door. Then I saw the drum, sitting in the middle of my room. Just a small, cracked hand drum, swaddled in a black sarong. It was dripping something thick and black. The sarong twitched like it was breathing. I didn't move, didn't scream. I just backed away slowly, never taking my eyes off it. I ran to my grandmother's room, but she was sitting up, eyes wide, lips moving silently. She didn't see me. She didn't blink. She looked through me. And behind her, in the corner of the room, stood a figure, sack over the head, drum in one hand, a bony finger pointing at me. He didn't move. He didn't speak, just watched. Then slowly, he lifted the drum and began to tap it. Once, twice, 3 times. My knees gave out. I fainted. I woke up on the prayer mat, alone, but not free. I left the house, ran to the mosque, slept on the prayer mats. The imam found me in the morning and said nothing, just handed me a glass of water and whispered a verse. I didn't go back, but the knocking followed. In hotel rooms, on bus windows, on the backs of chairs, always at 3:33, always 3 knocks. It found me in reflections, in shadows, in dreams I couldn't wake from. I don't know how long I've been running. I write this now from a cheap boarding house far from that village, but I know it's only a matter of time. I've seen his shape in the fog on glass. I've heard my name whispered through radio static. I've found red thread wrapped around my pillow. My soul is marked. My story is nearly over. Tonight is the last night of Ramadan. I haven't slept in 2 days. I hear the knocking even when it's not there. I called Ronnie. She didn't answer. Her last message was a voice memo, just static, and then, faintly, the knocking. It's 3:30 a.m. I can hear it again. The air's gone still. Even the crickets have stopped. My phone won't turn on. My hands are shaking. I've poured salt on the floor. I've tied every charm. But deep down, I know it's useless. 3:31. I hear my name again. This time, it's outside the door. The knob is turning. No one's there. I've locked it. I know I did. The drum is on the floor again. Closer. Louder. 3:32. My name is written on the walls now. Scratched in charcoal. In blood. I can't tell. There's a face in the mirror, but it's not mine. It has no eyes. No mouth. Just skin. 3:33.
Tung 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 sahur. Anomali mengerikan yang hanya keluar pada sahur.
There's nowhere left to run. If you hear the knocking, don't answer. Don't look. And whatever you do, don't forget to wake your soul. Thank you for tuning in. Please leave a like and subscribe. I will see you again next week.